it's Melissa with Bling Diva Designs, and I'm here with Lexia and Nicole to discuss baby names. Lexia and Nicole both have children, and I am expecting my first, and we are going to talk about how we came up with our children's names with our spouses.
So for us, our kids have very unique names. I have a 3-year-old boy named Tavish and a 1-year-old boy named Pearson. And it was very important for us to pick kind of more unique names because our last name is Frank, which is like super boring and common, and I didn't want our kids to be named Joe Frank. So we wanted to be kind of a little bit more unique, and it was also important for us to not have any associations with the name. So we didn't want to know anyone from, you know, our previous history with that name, so we were always like, oh yeah, Tavish, oh, just like my friend from high school who played soccer, you know what I mean. So that was one thing, and the other thing was that we wanted them to be 2 syllables, so it wouldn't be like Joe Frank. And we obviously both had to agree on them. So it wasn't one of those things where like Dustin got to pick the first name and I got to pick the second name or anything like that. It was, I mean, definitely a mutual thing. Yeah, I'm super excited to hear, Melissa, what baby names you have picked out. I hope you're gonna share.
Well, I should say I'm keeping it off the internet. How does that make sense? I don't have it on Facebook. I don't have it on my blogs, either of them. What's funny is I'm thinking today of doing this video, and I was like, oh crap, like I'm not saying, you know, out in like the whole universe what the name is. But her name is gonna start with an A, so we call her Baby A. And then the middle name is, the first name I just heard somewhere a long time ago, and I really loved it, and I told my husband, I said, I really want this name for a girl, and he was kind of like, oh, you know, I don't really know if I want that name, you know, whatever. But the middle name was, it's my grandmother's middle name. Just a funny thing was, he wasn't sure if he liked the name that we picked. He's like, you know, I don't really know, I think we should come up with like another like list of names. So right around Mother's Day, we decided, okay, we're gonna look on our iPads. I had my iPad in bed, and we were searching all these names of trying to come up with a backup name. And I had a couple of things, and I want to bring this up later too, of like names that you did not consider whatsoever. I refused to have a girl name with the starting of a D because I do not want her ever to be nicknamed Double D's, because she's got D for her first name and D for her last name. So that all D names were out the window. Then we started coming up with other names, and the requirement was I wanted the same middle name because I wanted to have that passed on from my grandmother. And every name that we came up with was more of like the trendier kind of names, and they just did not flow well with the middle name. And so after about 3 days of racking our brains, he's just like, this is really stupid. Like, we already have a name that we like the way it sounds, and it was so easy to pick it up. Why are we wasting our time stressing over this Plan B name that we don't even know if we'll like in the end? So we scrapped the whole thing. But Nicole, sorry. What about you? Tell us about you and how you guys came up with your names.
Well, I was in love with Jaden for I don't know how long, but Kelvin hated it, refused to have it. So every which way I tried to convince him that I wanted to name him Jaden. He was like, no, no, no. He wanted Kingston because he was like, my son is going to be a king. So I didn't really like it too much. So trying to come up with a baby name was like one of the hardest things to do. But it worked out because a girlfriend of mine named her son Jaden, and another one named her son Jalen. So I was like, well, I'm glad I didn't name him Jaden, because we would have a Jaden, and Jalen. And so Kelvin, every time I look at him, I can't picture him being a Jaden or a Kingston. He's like perfect being a Kelvin.
So now we'd like to hear from you, from the mothers and fathers out there, or the ones that are soon to be moms and dads or in the future. What did you do with your spouse to come up with your names? Did you go the unique route? Did you go with the familial route? So leave a comment, let us know, and any other kind of concerns you might have for me, or comments for me to calm down and not have to freak out about naming a human. I would appreciate it. Talk to you all later. Thank you.